The original version of the film 13 Ghosts was released in 1960 through Columbia Pictures and was written by Robb White and produced and directed by William Castle, who were teamed up in several productions of many well-known classic horror films. Some of their movies, like the original House on Haunted Hill from 1959 starring the legendary Vincent Price, was considered a critical and financial success and continues to be a very well-beloved supernaturally themed horror film by most critics and audiences. The same can almost be said for their other 1959 release, The Tingler, again starring Vincent Price. Though receiving much more of a mixed response at first, it's also gone on in time to be a pretty well-revered and respected classic, and one of my personal favorites. Like The Tingler, this movie also received a pretty mixed reception when it first came out, but unlike The Tingler, this one continues to draw similar results to this day, and it doesn't star Vincent Price. When reading comments and reviews, it seemed to me like most people do find a bit of charm in the movie overall, but commonly criticize it for a lack of tension and character build-up in regards to the ghosts themselves, resulting in the film being a memorable and fun haunted house story, but not all that scary in the eyes of most. The movie was, however, popular enough for studios to remake in 2001, starring Tony Shalhoub and Matthew Lillard, but I'll get around to talking about that movie as well in a future discussion. This version of the movie stars Donald Woods as the character Cyrus Zorba, a down-on-his-luck museum curator and family man whose fortune seems to favorably change after inheriting a nice house from an estranged and once wealthy uncle who recently passed away.
With regard to a matter of great importance to you, you are requested to present yourself in the office of Benjamin Rush, attorney, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Zorba meets with his uncle's lawyer, where it's revealed that his uncle partook in strange and expensive experiments surrounding spirits and the occult, and that he collected ghosts that will be included with the inheritance of the estate.
They go with the house.
Despite this information, Zorba's desperate financial situation leaves him with no other rational alternative than to accept his inheritance and move his wife and 2 children into the estate of his dead uncle. Zorba initially very strongly rejects the idea of the presence of ghosts in the house, despite making their presence well known after his daughter and son discover and tamper with an old Ouija board, and they threaten the life of Zorba's daughter, Medea.
Don't ask it when. I don't want to know.
Slowly but surely, however, the ghosts terrorize the house, revealing themselves further and further, becoming visible to the eye through the specialized goggles designed by Zorba's uncle. Eventually, Zorba can no longer deny their presence, and through their revelation discovers a sinister plot revolving the circumstances of his uncle's death. That's all I'm really going to say in regards to the movie's plot, but I do want to say that I have a fair amount of love and appreciation for what the movie does have to offer. I do have to agree that it certainly isn't a very scary movie, and that there are definitely elements of it that could have been better handled to help create a more authentic and scary environment. But for me, the charm of the movie certainly outweighs the negative elements that it has, and it does a good job overall creating a spooky and fun environment with the lighting, score, pacing, and effects. Of course, by today's standards, there certainly isn't anything majorly impressive about the effects being used, but I'll always have a big appreciation for the ingenuity of effects teams prior to the days of advanced technology, and feel that they still come across as being relatively effective. I mean, if I saw somebody standing in front of me that looked like a layer on an Adobe Premiere timeline with the opacity turned halfway down, and somebody said, "Dude, there's a ghost," I wouldn't be like, "Nah, he doesn't have enough CG, gradient overlay, or outer glow. I'm not buying it." Another element of fun for me is Donald Woods as the character Cyrus Zorba. Now, I can definitely see a lot of people being highly annoyed and frustrated by the degree of denial his character is initially in, but to me, it's so ridiculous that I actually find it to be kind of funny, so for me, it's something that actually adds to the fun of the movie.
I think all this spook talk of Ben's has got us all imagining things.
I also appreciated how the movie went about unveiling its true antagonist and their involvement in the death of Dr. Zorba. And though it isn't something, especially by today's standards, that would be considered super original, I thought it was well executed and I had a good time with it. But probably my most favorite aspect of the movie is the character of Dr. Zorba's live-in servant, played by Margaret Hamilton, who famously played the Wicked Witch of the West in the groundbreaking classic, The Wizard of Oz. For one thing, I think the setup just before the audience is introduced to her character is executed in a fun way that calls back to and plays on the fact that she was cast in that specific role.
Told ya. She's even got a broom.
But farther from that is the value she adds to the movie with her classically stoic approach, giving her character an air of mystery that leaves the viewer unsure of the character's genuine intentions or possible role in the subplot surrounding Dr. Zorba's death.
Was about a crime committed against him. What did he mean by that?
I don't know.
So, is it the greatest classic supernatural horror movie to exist? No, not by a long shot. As I said before, there are definitely a lot of things that could have been handled much better, and I have to agree that the movie doesn't have much to offer in terms of delivering good and genuine scares. But the movie definitely does have its charm, with an engaging set of characters, decently implemented effects for the time, and a subplot that, while not being altogether super original, definitely was executed in a way that kept me entertained and interested. While not being the best, I'd certainly say that the movie still holds its place comfortably among the most memorable of classic horror films, and I definitely recommend that anyone who's a fan of supernatural and haunted house movies check it out at some point and see what they think about it themselves. It's a fun and spooky time and an entertaining movie, and definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it yet, so I'll leave a link in the description below in case you want to go check it out after watching this video. Also, I've included links to all the gear that I use to help produce these videos, so be sure to check those out if you're looking for any gear recommendations and would find that information to be helpful. I want to thank everybody for watching today's video. I hope that everybody out there is doing well. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to subscribe so I can see you all in the next video. Today's video has been brought to you by the 3 DOS Ghosts Gaming and Entertainment Organization. Please click down on the link below to check out and join our community Discord.